Hey friends, thanks for being here. Emily here. This is my YouTube channel. You're on it. Hooray! Today we're going to be doing something kind of special. We're going to be making a ketchup cocktail. Now, to make a ketchup cocktail, I obviously needed an expert. We have a very special guest today. You may have seen him on Epicurious. He is the cocktail king on Epicurious. He now has his own cocktail making YouTube channel, which you can check out at a link down below. Please give a very warm, no expert welcome to Jeff Solomon. Come on in! Yay!
Yep.
So,
excellent.
Ketchup cocktail.
Ketchup cocktails. Yeah, I come from a bar world where cocktails are treated with, there's such a seriousness in the technique and everything, which I believe in too, but I basically I feel like I'm going to hell today for doing this.
I am dragging you down to hell. Okay,
yes,
cool.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But couldn't be happier about it. Yeah.
Well, I hope it tastes good.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I'm actually going to be making the only ketchup cocktail recipe that I could find on the internet. It is from a place in Vienna called Tour 7. And it's called the Mast Have. This also might be a name that is not in English and I'm just butchering it. It's got ketchup in it. It's got like a lot of ketchup in it. And you have a recipe.
I do. I actually have two. Yes, I didn't tell you about this.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, I have two different ways of going to hell today.
I'm sure that we're gonna find at least one winner, possibly 2 to 3.
Yeah.
2 to 3 delicious ketchup cocktails. What if that were how today goes?
That would be amazing.
That would be great. All right, let's get to it. Okay. Jeff is gonna assist me because the instructions are pretty loose. So
they're chillax.
Yeah, they're just chill. They're like chilled out instructions. So here's what I have. I have apricot juice. I have ketchup. I have Dijon mustard, salt and pepper, rye whiskey, Jägermeister, and a lime. And all these things are somehow going to come together to make something maybe delicious. Yeah. So.
Yeah, what's kind of amazing about it is that except for maybe the Jaeger, they would go together as a barbecue sauce or glaze.
All right, cool. So, an ounce of Jaeger. Is that?
Yep, pretty much, yep.
Pretty much.
In the technical bar world or whatever, when you're jiggering, you're basically supposed to go like all the way up so that you're basically just on the cusp of spilling and you get yourself slightly anxious that you're about to spill something, then you know you've done it.
Then you're done.
Yes.
Cool. 1 ounce of rye whiskey.
Perfect cocktail rye, by the way, I think.
Oh yeah?
Oh,
I
yeah.
Googled it and I was just like, what's like the best of the cheap ones, basically? And this is what it said. And I said, great.
That's what I use at home.
Oh.
It's fantastic.
Hey, look at that. 4 ounces of ketchup. All right, we're doing this.
That is just... There's so much ketchup. Oh my god.
You get in there, buddy.
Just seeing how long it takes to make yourself 2 jiggers worth of ketchup.
Do you? Oh boy. Yeah. Okay, this also calls for salt and pepper, so I'm going to do that while you work on the lime.
Okay. Yeah. There we go.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
All right. It's about a third.
Apricot juice. Okay. We're going in. Oh, and I need to do pepper. I'm just gonna do like a few cracks of pepper.
Yep.
And then the last thing we need is a bar spoon of mustard. I'm so trepidatious and excited.
Yeah, I haven't been scared of a cocktail in a little while, so this is nice.
Yeah, this is kind of fun.
I feel very alive right now.
Yeah, right. All right, everything's in. Should we put ice and shake it?
Yeah. We need a little bit of dilution in there, so definitely, yeah. There we go, yeah. We're probably good.
Probably good?
Yeah. And it said to double strain, right?
It did.
So if you have a sieve.
I do. I have a tiny sieve right here.
Perfect. That is literally the exact thing you want. So I would strain just through the shaker.
Oh, double strain.
Yeah.
You can just double strain at the same time.
Indeedy.
Oh no. Oh, it's so red. That is ketchup.
Yeah.
All right. No, it's so thick. Why is it so thick?
It's not even going through the... Yeah, the ice isn't that melted in there. So I think we're just gonna shake this a bunch more. I can kind of hear it. I think that we got more of a liquid consistency now.
That's fantastic.
I think we're good.
Well, it's going through.
It's working.
Just try to break up the ketchup a little.
It kind of looks like we just poured the ketchup into this glass, really.
Yeah, it really looks more like ketchup than
so
anything
much,
else.
There's so much glossiness.
Oh boy. It's mostly ketchup. I mean, the apricot juice and whiskey add a nice depth of flavor. But at its heart, this is basically a glass of ketchup.
Yes.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. I am genuinely excited to try this. This looks, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely something different.
So the texture is, yeah.
What do you think, really?
I honestly don't hate this. This doesn't taste bad at all.
Yeah, it's not horrible. It's not like, oh God, why?
If you maybe had this and like some kind of chilled vodka-y drink or something, and if you're having like shrimp cocktail with it or something like that, it kind of a shooter of it. Like maybe this much of it, yeah. But,
yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna drink that whole thing, but Jeff, do you want to move on to making your cocktail?
Yeah. Let's and by the way, like I don't necessarily know that we're gonna feel like entirely different about about what I do.
The stakes are very low.
Yeah. So let's keep the expectations
are low
in this general vicinity. To try to not go to hell,
right?
For this, I basically was. I mean, the first kind of pseudo lie that I'm telling myself going in is that tomatoes are a fruit.
Sure. Yeah.
And
which they are.
And they are. So with that in mind, it's like, well, there's so many fruit syrups that occur in classic cocktails, and I really wanted to basically see if I could make ketchup work, not even in like a fancy modern cocktail way, but to make it work in like a really classic setting. So the cocktail syrup that I was thinking about the most is grenadine, because that's made from a fruit, that in this case pomegranates, that are cooked down into a heavy concentrate. And usually people make grenadine at home by loosening pomegranate molasses, which is that, really, really reduced down pomegranate juice with simple syrup. So I'm kind of going to make we can call it a tomato grenadine, if in a way, using the ketchup.
This is delightful.
Basically, this is how we're going to get our ketchup flavor into everything that we're going to do today.
Dope.
So we're going to go with 2 ounces of hot water and 4 ounces of ketchup.
No.
Yes, except the difference being is that these 4 ounces of ketchup will, like, we're going to have leftovers. But also, like, this is going to be more than enough for, like, we can make like 8 drinks worth probably.
Nice. Have a great afternoon.
Yeah. We're going to go with a 1 to 2 to 4 ratio of simple syrup to hot water to ketchup.
Okay.
That is
so 1 ounce simple syrup, 2 ounces of water, 4 ounces of ketchup.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
This is really just ketchup still. It's just been thinned out a little bit with hot water and simple syrup so that it's easier to pour and easier to measure.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the first drink that we're going to do is pretty much, and I was hoping maybe you and I could name them on the spot together.
Oh boy!
Because cocktail naming, as much as I like cocktail making, cocktail naming has never been like, I don't know.
I was going to say it's got to be the best part.
Some people are brilliant at it. I've got friends that are great at it, but I feel like the branding on a cocktail has never been like I feel like we could focus group.
Yeah. This will be
together.
Fun.
Yeah. So we're going to make a variation on a drink called a Pink Lady.
Okay.
Pink Lady was
be a tomato Pink Lady.
Yeah. So I'm saying that now so we can start thinking about silly puns. Maybe we'll get some Pink Lady puns working in the back of our head. But this drink was a kind of Prohibition era cocktail favorite. It was invented before Prohibition. It used grenadine to cover up the flavor of bathtub gin. Eventually it evolved to incorporate a split base of gin and apple brandy.
Oh.
So we have nice gin, nice apple brandy, and we're gonna hope that we do something in reverse where like our good liquor covers up the flavor of our
taking
grenadine
their idea
a little bit,
and switching it. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Basically, if you ever want to make a pink lady at home without ketchup, this is more or less a primer for that as well, so that's good. All right, so first thing into the tin, we're going to use 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lemon juice. And then we're going to go with the equal amount. Other drink at Tier 7 was 4 ounces of uncut ketchup.
Uncut.
This is going to be 3/4 of an ounce of slightly diluted.
Like diluted ketchup syrup.
Yeah. You can see that it pours like a little easier. All right, so then we're going to have an ounce each of Applejack or apple brandy and London dry gin. And then the Pink Lady is an egg white cocktail.
Oh, lovely.
And I thought that maybe giving a little bit of foam would also lighten up the drink a little bit more and make it texturally interesting in a way that's a little bit away from ketchup.
Right, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, whenever I'm doing an egg white drink, I'll crack the white into the large tin. This is a Boston shaker, which is just 2 tins instead of the kind of shaker
I
that
see
you're
what's
using.
happening here. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm cracking this into the other shaker so that if I mess up my crack, which just happens, and if I get yolk in there by accident, then I could start again. And
you're not totally boned.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to do a dry shake on this, which means shaking without ice. And the reason that you do this is for egg white drinks always. It's a good idea to dry shake a cocktail first. That way you incorporate the egg white, it gets emulsified into the liquid, you start your kind of meringue foaminess going before adding the ice.
So have you tried this already?
I did a brief taste test on these 2 drinks, and I'm not certain how I feel about it yet.
Okay.
Coming out.
Oh yeah.
So kind of like foaminess has started to form in the shaker, which is good. So when I'm doing any kind of shake and drink, I like to shake my drinks, especially good for egg white drinks, on this kind of ice, which is like a dense, perfectly clear ice cube.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and I make these at home, and I even have a little tutorial on my own channel about how to do that if you want to.
Link down below.
Yeah. What's great about using this kind of dense clear ice is that, again, you can kind of, because it doesn't have air bubbles in it, for one, there's no like added aromas in the ice that sometimes like fridge ice can hold on to.
Yeah, we're looking at you, my fridge.
Yes. Hey. But what's also great about it is that because it doesn't have air inside, it doesn't break very easily. And that means you can, again, use it to shake really hard without breaking the ice and diluting the drink too much, which just allows you to get more and more air and more coldness into the drink without adding too much extra water. And when it's kind of feeling cold, I give it one more of these to form a tight seal.
Ah.
And then I can really go for it. Okay. After a few seconds, it will kind of start to settle to the top, and like a really thick kind of white head will form. Traditionally, the Pink Lady doesn't even really have a garnish, but I figured maybe we'll play a nod to the ketchup spices and give it a tiny little bit of visual flair on top. So what I have here these are grains of paradise, which is the seed of a plant that is somewhere in the ginger family, but the grains are usually just ground the same way that black pepper is ground. And I'm going to grind some really, hopefully finely ground grains of paradise here. And you can kind of smell it. It has a bit of a white pepper kind of tinge to it if you smell it.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if this works. Just a little, and then we just, yeah, kind of just makes like a little dasher. So yeah, this is the basically a pink lady, ketchup style.
Ketchup style pink lady.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yes, and it's also totally okay if it's utterly disgusting too. I'm just curious to hear your thoughts.
I mean, it smells good. I feel like I'm glad we did that other one first because I feel like anything. No offense. I feel like I'm tasting the apple brandy. I'm definitely getting the lemon juice. The ketchup is like, it's there, but it's very subtle. Mm-hmm. It's nice. I mean, it's nice.
Is the ketchup a little too hidden maybe in this one? The other one that's coming hides it less. But do you think I've...
I mean, I think you did a great job. Listen,
have I hidden the ketchup too much?
I mean, I'm impressed. That you made a cocktail that like has ketchup in it
and kind of looks and feels
like a cocktail.
And it's not hopefully I think the biggest change without taking too much flavor away is I think that texture wise we got it away from ketchup texture.
Yeah, it's definitely not thick. It drinks like a drink, which is like an achievement.
Yeah, because the ketchup has so much, like, I think between the pectin in there, I think there's some also stabilizers in.
Yeah, it definitely has a lot going on that keeps it ketchup, you know?
Yeah.
It's a goop.
Yeah, it is a lovable goop.
Yeah, I would never know, is what I would say if I didn't know.
Got it.
You know?
Okay.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. So after I made this drink, I realized, okay, so this is a little bit, it's definitely on the dry side.
Yeah.
I think. And because of that, the ketchup, I think you can taste it, but it is not totally forefronted. And I was like, all right, well,
it's on the back of the tongue, I would say.
Yes. And I was like, so let's own the sweetness of the ketchup a little bit and just deal with it, you know?
Yeah.
Let's just call it by its name and yeah.
Montero.
Yes. But we're still gonna do it in the world of like super classic cocktails.
I'm so delighted.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do a version of a Martinez now.
Now that I do not know what it is.
Yeah, so a Martinez is, I guess most people consider that this to be a predecessor of the Martini.
Ooh.
So yeah, so the Martinez was originally made as a kind of split-based drink between gin and vermouth, similar to a Martini, except that the Martinez, it was sweet vermouth.
Oh.
It was usually Old Tom gin. Which is darker in this color, sometimes because it's aged, sometimes because barley and malt and other things are added to it. So this itself is a touch naturally sweeter than London dry gins. Sure. So Martinez is usually half and half Old Tom gin and sweet vermouth, and then there's usually orange bitters and maraschino liqueur added to it. So there's a lot of added fruitiness. Because there's so much fruit and so much flavor and everything going on in the ketchup.
And everything.
We're gonna dial back and we're gonna take out the orange bitters and the cherry. We're gonna add in a little bit of olive brine.
Brilliant.
And it's kind of gonna be a little bit of a dirty martini nod to the Martinez.
All right. This is the best day ever for me.
So we're gonna start with a bar spoon and a little extra, like a bar spoon and a half of olive brine. I'm using Cerignola olives. And then we're just gonna go very simply a half ounce of our Ketchup Grenadine and a half ounce of Carpano Antica, lovely sweet vermouth for all your Martinez needs. And then we're gonna go with an ounce and a half of Old Tom gin. We're screwing with the ratios a little bit here. Usually it's a 50-50 balance between vermouth and gin, but this...
It's so sweet.
Yeah, it was just also, I feel like it needs a little bit of that kind of booziness to balance out the sweetness. Again, if you have this kind of ice, and I suggest trying to make it at home yourself, great for stirring as well, because just like with shaking, how it allows you to shake longer without melting too much ice, you can stir this drink longer without your ice melting, and that allows for this kind of like more uniform consistency, allows it to get really cold, which, especially since we're trying to get away from the ketchup texture, I think will kind of get us out of that ketchup feeling. So yeah, I'm just gonna crack a couple of these pieces of ice. So if you're using normal like refrigerator ice or ice bag ice, you probably wouldn't need to stir this more than maybe like 10 or 15 seconds, but since I'm using this ice that melts much slower, I'm gonna stir it for quite a bit longer. When you start with a full glass of ice and you stir it enough that the liquid kind of matches the level of ice, that's usually a sign that your drink is
So smart.
properly stirred. Yeah.
All right.
That is the exact kind of pour we want.
I'm really excited for this one. I love olive juice. Is that weird? I just love olive juice. I drink it on its own.
Really?
Yeah.
Ketchup Martinez. I'm so sorry.
So sorry. I'm looking forward to trying this.
All right.
It smells good. Well, it smells like lemon, feel really.
Yeah.
I like that.
I kind of like this one too.
It's like really good. I mean, the other one was good too, but this one's like more my speed, I think, in terms of a drink. Because it's like, you do get the ketchup, but it's almost like a Bloody Mary meets like a martini.
Yeah. I don't think either of them hid from the ketchup, but I feel like this one even less so. Right?
Yeah.
Like
well, this one also visually, you can't
also
get away from
yeah.
it. You look at it and you're like, that's ketchupy.
Yeah.
But there's also like the gin and the vermouth and the olive juice are all like, they're not clear. They're like, and especially the vermouth is like brown.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. So the color isn't entirely coming from the ketchup, but it definitely still
feels emotionally like it is.
Yes. Yeah.
Obviously, it's like a funny thing. You don't get ketchup cocktails, but I would probably order this on a menu and be like, yeah.
Crazy.
Do you feel like you've sinned here? Is this like, are you like waiting for the axe to come down?
As much as I feel like if I was on trial, and I do feel like there is, if I was in cocktail court,
it's a defensible position.
I think that I've made as good of a case as I can.
Yeah.
I think I am going to hell, but with a reduced sentence.
That's good. More of a purgatory situation.
More purgatory.
You get to work it off.
Yeah, the lawyer will come up and be like, "Don't worry, boss, you'll be out of there in like 3 months." Tops. And then be like, "Okay, yeah, great."
Yeah, thank you, Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
I feel like what you did is you took all the basics of doing a cocktail correctly and applied them to like an insane challenge so that you set yourself up for success. Because these are really like basically successful classic cocktails, just with like a little like, what is that? What is that flavor? What are those 57 flavors that I tasted?
Yeah, so much of cocktails really is very similar to this. So you're managing somebody's secret recipe for a thing, and you have to figure out how to tame it, and it's a trial and error process. And often, like, you do a very similar thing where you kind of start with a classic that works, and and
then you just kind of riff from there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great advice for like there. Now you can make anything into a cocktail, but especially ketchup.
Yeah.
I realized I may have done chore 7 wrong a little bit in that I never did the last step, which is to top it with beer.
Indeed.
Now looks like a cocktail.
Now it doesn't look like a pile of ketchup at all.
No, this is a whole different animal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Jeff can't drink beer, so
yes, but
you're gonna have to abstain from finding out. All right, I'm gonna get in there.
I trust
though.
you fully.
You know what? Not bad.
Yeah?
Yeah. The beer really like makes it more of a cocktail.
I'm assuming like it lightens up the texture.
Yeah, it makes it more
right?
liquid, which is important, and it brings the apricot flavor forward, which is interesting. I used just like a regular, like a golden ale.
I could see that. I feel like apricot is also something that people note in beer a lot as a kind of thing. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't hate it. You know what? Chore 7, I'm sorry if I said anything rude earlier in the day. you got yourself a cocktail.
Yeah.
A cocktail I would drink.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. I'd drink it.
You drink it.
I would say this is still my favorite. This was my second favorite. This was my third favorite. Now I think they're tied. What do you think of Pink Tomato for this?
I think Pink Tomato is a perfect name.
Cool.
For that.
What are we gonna call this guy? It's what, a Martinez? Like a ketchup Martinez?
It's a Martinez.
Martinez?
I feel like my brain is shorting out every time I try to
So
say
Martinez?
it. Or a Heinz is? No. Martine Heinz.
Martine Heinz?
You were right the first time. It's so Martinez.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Pull the banner down. I feel great. I feel very excited. I'm not gonna lie. I was not sure that a ketchup cocktail was possible. And
Me
now
neither.
I feel deeply in my soul that it is.
Yeah.
I had a little tomato flavored vodka that we could shoot if this didn't work out. But
okay,
I think we've got ourselves a success.
Yeah, I think so too.
And thanks so much for being here,
Yeah,
being
no
up for this
problem.
weird challenge.
Yes, thank you for having me. This is super fun.
And you have a YouTube channel that people can check out.
I do, yeah. It's just my name, Jeff Solomon.
Link down below.
Yeah, or if you're on Instagram, you could find me at MegaJerf. Yeah.
Go check him out. His stuff is super informative. It's like the opposite of this channel. In a good way. Here you get a little stupider.
And also subscribe to this one.
Yeah, oh yeah, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like. And if you want to see more like this, subscribe. Why not? Give us a double subscribe here.
Yeah.
Wow, what a world that would be.
Incredible.
Pretty cool.
Yes.
Thanks so much for being here, and I'll catch up with you later.
Okay.
Pow,
All right,
pow,
all right, all
pow.
right.
I had a little backup, just tomato flavored ketchup that I figured we could just shoot if this guy didn't work out as my contribution, but
Tomato flavored ketchup?
tomato flavored ketchup. Did I get that right?
No. Vodka, I think.
Thank you. I burped a little right as I laughed. I had a little.
Sure.
Show you.